Hello, and welcome to the MindCep Podcast. This is your host, Alex Muir, helping you flex your mind, body, and soul. And welcome to the solo podcast series, MindCep Matters. Disclaimer. All information provided by Alex Muir is of general nature and is spoken from Alex Muir's and his guests' personal experiences and personal opinions on the topics related to fitness, health, and education only. No information is to be taken as medical or other health advice pertaining to any specific health or medical condition. You agree that use of this information is at your own risk and hold Alex Muir harmless from any and all losses, liabilities, injuries, or damages resulting from any and all claims. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the MindCep Podcast. This is your host, Alex Muir, helping you flex your mind, body, and soul. And today's episode 64, we're going to be talking about personal energy management over time management. Now, a reason why I wanted to discuss personal energy management in particular is because, there's been all this advice, about our personal productivity and, managing our time, each and every day when we're working on our business, when we're just working in general. And a lot of authors and a lot of thought leaders, they all talk about time management. Well, in actuality, what we should be talking about is personal energy management, because everyone's personal energies, when they have their peaks and their dips and during the day, when they're the most productive, will vary between individuals. So the importance of this episode, why I had to get this episode out to y'all, is I've been doing a lot of research on just, how can I improve my personal energy peaks during the day? Like, what do I need to change up? Or reorganize or restructure to just bring my best self each day. And it turns out, looking back to the previous episode there, when I was talking about brain and body hacks, a lot of what I said in that episode definitely correlates to this episode on how to have better personal energy management. But this app that I've been using called Rise, where it's basically talks about your personal energy management using sleep, and the better we are at going to bed on time, making sure we go to bed kind of similar time each day and wake up similar time each day in the morning, on weekdays and on weekends, making sure we stay as consistent as possible to this schedule will influence our personal daily energy that we have each day to tackle our day. So I want to start off by saying that as I've been digging into further research on this, utilizing the Rise app, which I posted a link in the description in the show notes of this episode, you ladies and gentlemen can have a look at. But energy management is the core of how we as individuals can function day in and day out. So by managing our personal energy management, ways that we can do this is by having similar bedtime routine each day and a similar wake-up routine. So let's say you're someone that needs to go to bed between 10 and 10:30 each night, so really try and sticking to that. I'm kind of fit in that window of like 10:30 p.m. to 11, wake up between 6:30 and 7 a.m., sometimes a little bit later if I need it, but trying to stick to that schedule as much as possible, because then your personal energy will stay fairly consistent. And again, personal energy varies between individuals, but where I'm kind of sitting with my utilizing this app would be is it says my peak energy in the mornings is between 8:30 and 11:45, or 8:30 and 11:30. So I've got basically, let's say, 3 hours of peak energy at those times, and I'll have a morning grogginess of about 90 minutes. That's upon first waking up. uh, you're going to have like a window where it's going to take your brain just, time to wake up upon waking. And then you've got your first peak in the morning, which again is going to vary between individuals depending on your bedtime and then your morning rise. And then you're going to have dips in the day, which my dip is usually between like 1 and 3 or 12:30 and let's say 2:30. And then you're going to have another peak in the evening. That could be during finishing your working hours. Let's say you work 9 to 5 or 8 to 4, or it could be after your working hours. And my peak tends to be between 6 and 9 p.m. or 5:30 and 8:30 p.m. So with this information, for example, for myself, utilizing this Rise app, what it's helped me do is just reframe how I think about time management. Because again, it's not about getting 1,000 things done. It's about getting the right things done that are important to you. That'll help you advance your day, advance your week, your month, your year, etc. And by focusing on personal energy management, ways that we can further enhance that is by knowing, okay, when do I personally have the most energy? And it's utilizing those times during the day to get your most productive work done, or tackle personal projects that are super important to you. This could be like life projects that you're currently tackling right now, personal projects that you're working towards something. This could be, again, just like personal work projects at work, whatever it may be. Utilizing this energy management system will really further enhance your ability to get stuff done, but in a more productive manner, and not obsessing about you need to get things done every hour or all that kind of stuff. It's more, okay, making sure that you're sticking to that energy window where you're the most high energy, and then utilizing that time specifically to get those most important tasks out of the way. So I want to first start off by saying that. And when I was digging through more literature online, I did not see anything too different than what I just mentioned. Going back to the previous episode 63 about brain and body hacks to help with 2023 and beyond. Again, doing your daily movement, getting exercise in daily, 20 to 30 minutes. Doesn't have to be weight training, doesn't have to be like cardio every day, but just making sure you get in that daily movement. For instance, weightlifting, yoga, let's say running, cycling, doing jump rope, boxing. All those things will help with your daily energy levels. With focus specifically, meditation, super helpful. When you drink caffeine, that's going to help with focus. These are all things that then a lot of people already know. It's nothing new, but it's just how you use those tools and tactics will vary, again, by the individual. And I mentioned cold showers in the last episode. That is crazy for enhancing focus and giving you a dopamine hit, which I will outline in the description as well for the show notes of that episode that Andrew Huberman did about talking about cold exposure and cold showers and cold immersion. And then getting in daily sunlight, like 30 minutes. I think it was 20 to 30 minutes on overcast days when it's cloudy, no sun. And then 5 to 10 minutes when it's really, really sunny, like first thing in the morning upon waking, to help with that, again, regular circadian rhythm, keeping our sleep in check and our personal daily energy in check and consistent. So we don't have huge swings in our peaks in our energy and our dips in our energy. And then sleep. Sleep is so important, which it helps with your daily personal energy expenditure, and how much energy you're getting or giving back to yourself each day. When we don't sleep enough, our energy, you'll find your the mornings and the evenings, your peaks will be for less time, and then your dips will be for more time if we're not sleeping enough. But if we're sleeping sufficiently enough, let's say 7 to 8 hours or 7 to 8.5 hours, because 9 hours can be pretty difficult to do when you've got a lot going on. Sticking to that good sleep schedule, eating a good whole food diet, all those things that I mentioned will really make a difference. But specifically for when you've got the energy and you want to enhance your focus, meditation, I've been doing lots more research on that, and that is super helpful for focusing in on what it is that you're doing, whatever task you're tackling or project you're tackling. So those are some of my recommendations. Again, you can check out the Rise app, which I've outlined in the show notes as well for this episode. And yeah, I just want to talk about personal energy management over time management, how that should be at the forefront of our productivity tactic or tools, rather than focusing on time management, because I've personally focused on time management before, and yeah, like of course you want to get more done in less time, but it's not always about that. It's about knowing which times during the day you personally have the most energy and utilizing those specific times to get what you want to get done or get ahead on projects. So hope you guys all enjoyed this episode. Again, I'll post my references on the show notes to previous podcast episodes I've gained some ideas from, and then just kind of research that I've been doing, different articles and stuff like that tie into this episode. So thank you all for listening, and hopefully I'll enjoy this episode, and looking forward to sharing with you the next episode. So this episode is going to be released the Monday, February 13th, and then the following episode for February 20th. And that February 20th episode, I'll be talking about good is better than perfect, why perfectionism is killing your productivity, and how to change that. So thank you all for listening, and see you all next week for next week's episode. Take care. Thank you all for listening to the MindCep solo podcast series, MindCep Matters, bringing you weekly inspiration, motivation, and insight into brain and body optimization hacks. Thank you all for listening. If you enjoyed this episode or this podcast solo series, please don't hesitate to leave a comment, drop a like, rate, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. Or if you prefer, you can listen on my blog. That's alexandermuir.com/blog. That's alexander.com/blog. Thank you all for listening, and stay tuned for next week's episode.